Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Lacrosse Tribune's TribPreps video series. Like always, my name is Alex VandenHouten, and to my left is sports editor Todd Sommerfeldt, and we'll be previewing this week's slate of games here. We're now in the state quarterfinals, Todd.
Yes.
Final 8 teams here. We only have 3 games here in our area. Let's run through those.
4 teams, 3 games. Yep.
4 teams, 3 games. Like I said, Division 5, Prairie du Chien at GT. Obviously a local team for us there. We'll have Jeff Brown will be at that one like always.
Yes.
He's become kind of our Galesville, Ettrick Trimble beat writer type of guy.
Yeah, he'll be there writing. Matt Murphy will be there doing some video and photos.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Matt's going along with him. So
Yes.
of course
Yes.
take along with that. In Division 7, we have Turtle Lake at Bangor. Todd, you'll be at that one, correct? Yes, that is correct. And then over in Minnesota, we have Pipestone versus Caledonia at Rochester. We're in the Class 2A for the MSHSL state quarterfinal there. I'll be at that one as well. So like always, we'll be well versed and well covered for everything you need to know.
Yes, we will.
When it comes to playoff action here. And Todd, let's dive straight into this. Let's go with Prairie du Chien GT first off. GT, we talked about them last week. Obviously, playing Aquinas. We had a pretty good understanding that GT was going to be able to perhaps handle the Blue Girls, but they did so in really dominating fashion. Of course, Luke Vance and Bryce Burns have been putting up video game type numbers all season long. The last 2 weeks, they've been doing it again for them as well.
Yeah, that's over 500 yards for Mr. Vance in the last 2 games.
And how many touchdowns to this yet?
7.
7.
In those 2 games, yeah.
Jeez.
So I was really impressed with GT last week. First time I had a chance to see them.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't really sure what kind of team it was considering the conference schedule they went through. And the fact that, at the beginning of the season they beat West Salem by a touchdown. West Salem didn't end up winning a game, but that's a good rivalry, so that doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. But very impressed with the offensive line. Very impressed with Luke Vance. Bryce Burns is an animal on the field. Fantastic linebacker. I mean, he runs for 130 some yards a game too, but he's a linebacker, and it's going to be a good linebacker on the next level, I think. I'm not sure what level that is, but I think he'll be playing Saturday somewhere, and I think it'll be as a linebacker, and like I said, a very good one. I've seen both these teams once. I saw Prairie du Chien beat Aquinas week 1, then I saw GET beat Aquinas last week. So what I saw from Prairie du Chien week 1 is not what Prairie du Chien is now. Again, it's a team that's lost 1 game, lost to River Valley, which is a good team, and still alive in the playoffs, if I remember right. GET is going to present a lot of problems with the running game, of course, and Prairie du Chien is going to have to figure out some kind of way to counter that. Aquinas did it for a half, essentially. It was 16-0 at the half, and then Aquinas came out and had a drive. Got stuffed at the 1, and a couple plays later, Vance goes 87 for a touchdown.
Yeah,
and
that's what they can do. That's what they can do.
Yeah, and they could do that to Prairie du Chien too. Prairie du Chien can throw the ball, and Mason Kramer's a great receiver for Dylan Coleman to throw the ball to. So I expect them to come out and try to do that. I like GET's defense, the way they played against Aquinas too. Aquinas ended up completing some passes, but nothing really huge. I mean, the biggest play they made with the pass was on a fake punt. So they like I said, they completed some passes, but I think GET's defense was pretty good. So interested to see what happens with this. Tyler Hanna, about 700 rushing yards, didn't have a carry last week, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But that's kind of been an inconsistent thing all year. Trayton Saint, another really good running back for them. So, but you can't argue. They're 10-1.
They are 10-1. Yes.
It may look like there's some things that are inconsistent, but it's working for them, and they're winning a lot of games. So, been a while since Prairie du Chien got to a semi. I think it was 1988, and GET's never been to one.
Wow.
So, and Prairie du Chien went to the finals that year.
Yeah.
Before getting beat. So, Prairie du Chien's been there, but it's been a while, and GET never has.
Yeah, who would have thought? We'd be seeing these 2 teams at this level in Division 5 too. At this quarterfinal.
Exactly. GET dropping to 5. Prairie du Chien, after week 1, I mean they had the coaching thing happen right before the season started. Football coach coming down Alaska to be AD. Got to find someone new. They found someone within the program to take over, of course, but. And Coach Koenig has done a good job this year, obviously, of maintaining some continuity and not letting things kind of fall off a ledge at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And that was a comeback win that they had against Aquinas. They were down 6-0, and then they scored at the end and got the extra point. So they started off with a memorable win like that and have just kind of built from then on and have been playing pretty well. Didn't beat Viroqua by a lot. Didn't beat Arcadia by a lot last week. GET's played a lot of one-sided games. So maybe if Prairie du Chien can keep it close, they'll have a better chance of pulling it out in the end maybe. But it's going to be tough to... I mean, they can't let GET come out and just score the first couple of drives. I think that'll be tough to continue after that.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when you have, like you said, Bryce Burns that can just hammer you away, and then Luke Vance can just take it 90 yards all of a sudden.
Yeah, you can. You can do a drop of a hat.
But like we said before, Jeff's going to be at that game. Jeff Brown, so follow him along. Also, like Todd said, Matt Murphy's going to be there, tweeting out videos, highlights, and that type of stuff. So,
yes.
But we well covered over there in Galesville.
Lots of coverage of that game.
Lots of coverage, but
two locals, we have to.
Yeah, exactly. And now we'll jump over to Division 7, Turtle Lake. Actually, it's funny because I have a good friend from Turtle Lake, and it's going up against Bangor. And Turtle Lake's kind of an interesting sort of dynamic a little bit. They're very well balanced. Like you know this, Todd.
Yeah.
You wrote that in your story. They can pass it. They can throw it. They seem like they're a good quality team for Bangor at this time right now.
And I think if you're Bangor, and I talked to some of the guys about this when I was at practice yesterday. It's a new challenge.
Yeah.
They don't see a lot of this. Teams coming out and throwing. New Lisbon through, Necedah through, but Turtle Lake's had more success doing it. So it kind of presents them with a unique challenge. And these are kids at Bangor that have won a lot of football games over the years. Yeah. So I think they were really happy to have something new to work on in this. Certainly nothing new with what they're working on offensively. It'll all be about how they make adjustments defensively against this team. I'm curious to see how good Turtle Lake is. They split a couple of games with Clear Lake, which has been a very good team as of late. They beat out Pepinalma too early in the season when they played them. So there's a common opponent there. Bangor beat them pretty handily last week, and despite not getting many possessions.
Yeah, right. Yeah, what, 6 possessions, something like that?
Yeah, 6 possessions and scored 4 touchdowns and took a knee on the last one.
Yeah, jeez.
So so they were able to move the ball, and with Pepinalma trying to control the clock, I don't know that Turtle Lake will be able to come out and do that, especially if they're going to throw the ball, and if they hit for something big, we'll see. But I think Bangor's got a lot of interceptions this year. Turtle Lake hasn't escaped that. They've thrown some picks this year, so Bangor kids are going to be looking for that and to make a big play. And Carter Horseman, I think it was a fumble, but he returned a fumble for a touchdown week 1 against Mount Min to kind of start the big plays that they make, and they've just kind of continued from there. So I certainly think if Turtle Lake wins this game, it's a big upset. We'll see how close they can hang, I think, with Bangor, just because Bangor's playing that well.
Yeah, they are playing very well, of course. And like I said, Todd will be at that game as well tomorrow night on Friday. And he also has a little notebook to kind of round it out as well about Bangor taking on Turtle Lake because he went out to practice. Well, was it Wednesday, right? You were out there in the snow. Nice to get some good photos.
Yes, in the snow. So you got a snow picture in the paper.
Yeah, snow picture in the paper. Gotta love it. And now, we'll jump over to Minnesota, across the board over there. Like I said, that's the game I'll be at. These two teams, they know each other pretty well. Pipestone and Caledonia, they met, the state tournament before, and then
a couple of championship games. One-sided.
So they're pretty well versed. Yeah, you mentioned they were one-sided. They were very one-sided. But what are you kind of looking for? You talked to Carl Frichte today. You did. Just tell me kind of like what they're looking for and what they're kind of expecting Friday night.
They know that. When you talk to coaches at this point, of course, they're going to say a lot of good things about the opponent. I think, and I don't know that Caledonia plays the best competition in the world. Pipestone, I think, as we could see at state, also does not. And when they were completely overmatched when they played, I think Caledonia beat them once 40-0. The other one was 57-6.
Jeez.
So when they met, and of course these are different teams. So we can't put a lot of stock into that, but I think that showed once Pipestone got that chance to play at Caledonia that maybe some of the teams they played along the way weren't so powerful. So, along the same lines though, I think Caledonia, I guess if you're looking for something, they haven't been as dominant in recent weeks. They won 27-7 last week, beat Chatfield by a lot more the first time around. but that could go with just playing him a second time. One thing that Pipestone's going to have to do is figure out something to do with Noah King.
Yeah.
And he's been phenomenal as of late. That was one thing I talked to Coach Frichte about, was some of the things that he's done. And I think it's 28 touchdown passes, 11 touchdown runs, and a ton of yards. And he's kind of quietly having
very
a
quietly.
huge year.
Very quietly, yeah.
And he's really come on the second half of this season, been more effective. And I think when they needed big plays, they've looked to him maybe even a little more than they did at the beginning of the season, even though he's someone who's expected to lead the team and is certainly doing that. But I think this will be Caledonia's last step to get back to US Bank and maybe play a couple of games there. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's just hard for me to think that Pipestone will be able to come over to Rochester and knock Caledonia off. I think this will be Caledonia's 66th win in a row.
Yeah.
Keeping the entire country's eyes on them to see how far they can keep going. But as Coach Frichte will say, they have to come out and do what they do and play their game.
Not let off the throttle.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what the one thing Caledonia never does. And I think they'll come out and play well defensively, and we'll see what Pipestone can do with Noah King and Eli King.
Yeah, Eli King as well. Of course, obviously, great player as well. But I wonder too, Noah King, when did he commit to South Dakota State? When did he make that official?
Oh, it was during football season.
It was during football season. Yeah, I wonder if the second half of the season maybe that has something to do with it. Do you think? Maybe clear head. Maybe.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at the date and see what happened after that. But it was the only offer he had, so it's not like he had to pick it out of 10 and have something that stressful. But maybe making that decision, just kind of let him relax and just play football. I don't know. It was a basketball decision, so
yeah.
I don't know how that would impact anything. But
yeah,
he's certainly played fantastic second half of the season.
He certainly has. And like I said, I'll be at Rochester for that game, so follow me along. I'll be tweeting out stuff.
Rochester Mayo?
At Rochester Mayo, yes, at Rochester Mayo field there. I'll be tweeting stuff out, of course, highlights, videos, updates, and all that good stuff. I'll also have some photos, hopefully, if it all goes well. But Todd, 3 games there. Is there anything really you want to hit else?
No, I just think I think we'll. My hunches are that we'll see GET, Bangor, and Caledonia advance. And I'm saying GET just because of how impressive they were last week. In that one, I think Bangor will be able to overpower Turtle Lake, and I think Caledonia will be able to do the same with Pipestone. And then we'll have some more games
to
deal with next week, which is always good. It's nice to have, and usually it's not very often you have a couple of teams in the semis on this side of the state. It doesn't happen very often, but I think we will. And then, and of course, Caledonia is just the outlier that's always there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the 6th straight year, and I think it's 15 of the last 16 years or something like that. 15 of the last 17 have been in state, and they don't lose in the quarters very often. So when they go big. In Caledonia, they already got their mohawks. They already bleached their hair.
Yep, they're all set.
Yes, they're ready for that tradition. To go there and try and win another state championship.
And like always, you can find everything we do at thelacrossereview.com.
Yes.
Stories, videos, like I said, we'll be have all these games covering it to get the best coverage available. So like I said, lacrossereview.com. We've been hitting that all year. That's the place to be to find all this stuff.
Yep.
As we move forward, then follow-ups on Sunday in the newspaper there.
But we'll see about the video tomorrow night. We don't know.
Yeah, we're not sure with me in Rochester.
All the traveling, we'll see. If we can get one up, we'll get a video up on Friday night.
Yeah,
we'll
so bear with us. So if you don't see one, don't panic. We're still alive. We're not.
Or maybe we would do one on Saturday. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But like always, my name's Alex VandenHouten, and for Todd, that'll be all for us tonight. Take care.